You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast,
delivering a player experience news.
Let's go! What is up, guys, and welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 272. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I am joined over Discord by the reformed Tarkov Teletubby and fellow Spartan, Gage Dempster, at Gilbo Biggins.
reporting for duty, sir.
Hello, sir. Christian and Ro will return, but it is us this week, Gage. We're going to team up for another tight 1 hour episode.
Tight 1 hour in and out.
Yeah.
We're only accomplishing the goals and no filler. That's it.
Yeah. And also, you know, since we're on the topic of Gage Dempster, happy fucking birthday to Gage Dempster today. He turns 47 years old right now. 47
That's
years
true.
old. No.
That's true. Only 20 years behind Dan, but you know what? We're getting there.
Wow. That's rude. Incredible. Happy birthday, brother.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you to everyone in the chat it's their birthdays as well. Some people in the chat, maybe, you never know. For watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time on youtube.com/@podcastpxn and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. The topic of the show this week, Gage, is our Game Awards 2024 reveals that we're going to predict here. We're going to talk about those in just a second. Oh, wait. We're going to do it right now because we start with that. The topic of the show right now. But first, let's talk about some news stories that tie into the Game Awards. So, the first one here, Jason Schreier is apparently hyping up a couple of big reveals coming out of the Game Awards. This year, the hype is louder than ever. Reports are suggesting that at least 2 major announcements are on the way. And of course, Jason specifically says, I know about a couple of announcements that are going to be there, and they definitely qualify as big announcements. That said, big announcements are games that won't be out for years. So I think there's a good chance that you'll see 1 or 2 teaser trailers for a game that is 2026 or even later. What? He also says there are at least 2 things that will make you guys react and be like, holy shit, I can't believe this thing is here. At least 2 things. What?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
What's tipping me off here? This has influenced my predictions, by the way.
Yeah.
We're going hog wild with the predictions
We are.
this year in Team Gage. What's really damning for this and makes me think that this is real is that not only is somebody like Jason Schreier, who's usually not an industry hype man, he's known as a serious reporter. Not only is he saying like, hey, there's some really hype announcements, but Jeff is also really quiet this year.
Yeah.
And normally he's the one that's kind of like trying to hype. So it seems like a little kid who has like an actual secret that he himself doesn't want to spoil, and now suddenly he's fucking quiet. It makes me think that there is going to be a couple of huge things here. So this has definitely influenced my predictions. I love this. This is very exciting.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, and we're going to talk about those predictions here in just a minute. But Ro and Keurig both say happy birthday, Gage. So there you go.
Thank you both very much.
Hell yeah. We also have news that Snoop Dogg is expected to perform at the Game Awards, which that's interesting. When I saw that, I was like, all right, a decent get. Old Snoop.
Isn't he like 80?
I mean, he's still Snoop Dogg, though. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's Snoop Dogg, but you know what? His dog in dog years, he's getting up there. We gotta settle down.
Yeah. Rose also agreeing with us. That's so true. Jeff's usually like, you'll want to be there live this year.
Right.
Which, yeah. Jeff definitely likes to hype up his shit normally. So, all right. Now let's talk about what we do know already, Gage. There's a few things we do know already. One of which is well, one of which was leaked by the man himself, Randy Pitchford, a week ago, saying, and I quote from his Twitter account, "Cooking up a new Borderlands 4 trailer, and it's badass as fuck. Latest render is knocking me out. I'm not supposed to talk about it yet, but I don't give a fuck. I'm freaking out, yo." Who's talking here? Randy, you're fucking... Oh.
Is that actually what he said?
That's literally verbatim what he said.
Oh my god.
Verbatim.
He thinks he's still on MySpace. What is he doing?
And he's also acting like, I'm not supposed to talk about it yet. I don't give a fuck. Like, you're the fucking CEO of Gearbox. What are you talking about? Like, sure, maybe
Right.
Take-Two's gonna be a little angry with you, but I'm pretty sure they won't give a fuck. I don't know. Anyways, Randy, everyone. And then our next one that's also coming from Take-Two is we're getting a Mafia: The Old Country trailer, and that was announced by the Mafia Game Twitter account as well. So get a little trailer there from that. I'm excited to see that. Big fan of the Mafia games.
Could be interesting.
Hell yeah. Glenn's in the chat. Good to see you, Glenn G. Yes, Mafia is my baby. Kirik is also saying, let's go. All right. The third thing that we know will be there, Hazelight's next game, which of course they developed. It Takes Two, which was the 2021 Game of the Year winner that me and Christian watched Joseph Fares run up on that fucking stage and rip off his mask and go wild. We're gonna see his next game.
That's awesome. This is of what we have to talk about in these four little announcements here. This is probably the one I'm most excited for. I love It Takes Two. What a great game.
I love what I've played of it. I never fucking beat it because somebody said they would beat it with me after they beat it with his girlfriend, and he decided to.
Let's play it right now. Let's download it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I literally played through like half of that game with my girlfriend at the time, and then I broke up with her, and then I was like, "Fuck! Now I can't beat It Takes Two."
I also have not beat it. I got roughly halfway through as well, and somebody lost interest. So.
Oh wow.
Maybe maybe we need to.
It literally takes two.
It takes two, Dan.
Oh shit. All right. And then the final thing that we do know is appearing, and that has been announced today, just not that long ago. The official Pac-Man Twitter account says tune into the Game Awards opening act at 4:30 Pacific tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern. So I'm assuming they have a little announcement in the pre-show or whatever, because the pre-show starts at 7:30. Glenn's being a fucking terror in the chat here.
Oh, what else is new? What is he saying?
He said, "Why? So Gage can." I don't think that's a complete sentence, but why? So Gage can 5 more minutes and lose interest again? Except actually, instead of lose, he says loose. So loose interest again.
That sounds like Glenn.
All right. All right. So that is our news stories in relation to the Game Awards. So that brings us to our Game Awards predictions, Gage. And let us start. Do you want me to start, or do you want to start?
Please, I would love for you to start, and then we can just go shot for shot.
I will start, and this is, again, basing off of what Schreier said. I don't think this game is going to be quite ready yet, but Remedy appeared in 2021 to announce Alan Wake 2 when me and Christian were there, which I fucking was like, "Christian, it's Alan Wake." And he's like, "What the fuck? I don't know what Alan Wake is." And, you know, whatever. I think we're going to see a teaser of the Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes.
Ooh, I would love that.
Yes.
I would love that. Now, are you thinking this is one of the big I can't believe this is here, or do you just think this is a game that
No.
is a strong track record, like has a
Yeah.
good? Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
That's a great prediction.
I was basing that more so not on the back of it being like a big thing, but like just that this show is going to be a very complete show, I feel like.
Yes.
Like this is the 10th anniversary of the Game Awards. Yeah.
I'm with you. I think even outside of these, let's say it's just two, outside of these two massive announcements, I'm with you. I think this is just going to be a stronger Game Awards overall because he wants to hit that nice, clean 10th anniversary number and all the buzz that comes along with it. So I'm with you. That's a great prediction. I'm going to start off with one of mine. It's not one of the big ones. This is not one that has to do with Jason Schreier. This prediction was coming up regardless for the same reason that you brought up because of the track record. I believe we will get a glimpse, a teaser at Naughty Dog's next project.
Oh,
whatever that is.
yes.
I think people are talking about their, new IP. I still think there's a chance their next game could be Last of Us 3, so I'm not going to specify. I'm going to say that we see Naughty Dog's next project. Here.
Okay. Wow, that would be huge. So you think we're going to see? Yeah, I guess that would make sense. I was going to say something, but then I thought about it in my head and I'm like, no, that actually makes sense.
Just a teaser, just a little teaser.
Yeah. Interesting. That would be cool. Let's see what they're cooking.
See what they're cooking.
My second one, I think, is going to be another one akin to the first one. Like, I think this will be a solid one, but this isn't gonna like fucking light the internet on fire.
Right.
I think we will get IO Interactive on stage to show off Bond 007, their 007 game, and I am excited to see what they do with that IP. We've been hearing a lot about it for many years now, and they've technically given us a teaser for it, hoping for something a little more proper here.
Please, what a great prediction. Please, IO, please show up. That would be great. I would love that.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna bust out one of the predictions that I think is something that Jason Schreier could be alluding to. We've touched on it briefly in the last few months because there's been lots and lots of little tidbits on the internet, and it seems like something is definitely happening. I think that we will see whatever Half-Life White Sands is. Now I'm going to specify this to make it an interesting prediction. This is going to be similar to Half-Life Alyx. This might not be the number 3, but this is going to be a mainline, big budget Half-Life installment from Valve. This is going to be one of the things that Jason Schreier is talking about. So Half-Life will make an appearance at the Game Awards. That is my prediction.
Wow. Interesting.
And this might be one of those games that gets like a 2027 release window, where it's like it's not coming out anytime soon.
Or
we get a tiny little teaser. We see some physics or some, a glimpse of what the big gimmick is with this game, and then that's it. You just tiny little in and out teaser, done.
Interesting. That would be a massive one. See, you're actually thinking of massive ones, and I'm thinking like I literally have my list here, and I keep like thinking on it, and I'm like, my list is just a bunch of like solid ones, and you've already got 2 fucking
I'm swinging
bangers.
for the fences, Dan. Yeah. I'm swinging for the fences.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Well, let's take us back down a little bit to my predictions here, because this next one takes us significantly down. Not to say it's going to be bad, but I think, and this is tricky, but this could be coming like next month with Xbox's, I'm assuming they're going to have another January event like they've had the last 2 years. But I'm thinking maybe we get a re-reveal of Rare's Everwild game. How many years has it been since we've seen that game? Like, I'm pretty sure it's been like 2 or 3 years since we've even seen this game. And There was a lot of discussion around what the game actually was gonna be, and like there was
Right.
turmoil on figuring out like the gameplay. But I'm thinking like at some point this game's got to come out and they got to show it off, right? Like, so maybe this is a good time to show it off. Xbox has had a presence the last couple of years. They've shown off a couple of things. So it would not surprise me to see at least one thing, maybe a couple things announced here for Xbox.
Solid prediction. Solid prediction. I think we are definitely overdue. Fingers crossed, assuming the game isn't canceled.
Right.
Assuming it is still on track to release and the team has a passion and they want this game to come out, then we are definitely overdue for seeing it. So
Yeah.
I like that one.
Another solid prediction, you said.
Yes.
All
Very
of these
solid.
are just solid predictions.
Solid predictions. So far, IO is definitely my favorite. I can't believe I forgot about that. That's a good one.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna bring it back down again as
Ooh.
well, in my opinion. Although I guess this is kind of up there. I think we're gonna get a. Oh no, maybe is this too soon?
Uh-oh.
The COVID brain fog's kicking in. I'm like, did we just see this? I think we did just see this. Never mind. Oh no.
Wait, what is it?
Oh no, it's too soon. No, okay, never mind. We're gonna skip this prediction.
Just
We're gonna
tell
go to
us
my
for
number
the hell of it. What was it?
Okay, fine.
It doesn't have
I'm
to
gonna
be your
stick with it.
prediction.
No, I will. I'll stick with it, even though it's a bad one. But whatever. I'm losing games on PXN is like my favorite thing to do. So whatever. Let's just keep the trend going. Perfect Dark makes an appearance. But didn't we?
It's possible.
Was that this year or was it last year that we saw it at in June?
Yeah, we just saw it. Yeah.
We just saw it. It's not happening. We're not seeing it. Although I mean they're claiming it's 2025, right? So
Right.
I mean there's a chance, but I'll stick with it. Perfect Dark. Maybe we get a story trailer instead of a gameplay trailer, that type of thing.
Okay. Perfect Dark trailer. All right. I think it could happen. I'm not gonna say it can't happen. I think they would probably save that for their January event if they have one, because that's more
Yes.
of like here's some more on Perfect Dark, kind of like what they did with Hellblade 2 last year. 'Cause
Right.
that game was coming very shortly after. So I am going to steal your thunder here, and maybe you have this further down your list, but maybe you forgot about it also. But my number 4 prediction is still not a big fucking thing. It's just another solid thing. Back for Blood 2 gets a trailer. We've heard a lot of discussion around it. It's been a few years since we got the first game. And yeah, I think we could see a little trailer from Turtle Rock showing off the Back for Blood game.
I think we just talked about this recently in one of the shows as well.
Yeah.
There was a Steam database
Correct.
update code name or something. So yeah, absolutely. And I would be excited for that. I mean, if they stick with Unreal Engine 5 and let's say that this sequel has mostly just been let's fix all the jank from the first one, because the core gameplay loop I really like and the core gameplay design I really like. So if they've just been spending 3 years on like let's make this feel really good, then this could be a really exciting sequel. So that is a great prediction.
Polish that baby up.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay, I'm not gonna keep with your momentum because these next two are just we're going back up. We're going back up to 11.
Oh shit.
With number 4, it will happen.
Oh fuck, here we go.
We will get an update on Hollow Knight Silksong. And it will have a release window of 2025, but it'll have a specific let's say spring 2025.
Spring 2025. Okay.
Hollow Knight Silksong.
What if it's one of those things where they're like it's out now?
Then that works for me for Fantasy League, although it's not really going to do much.
Well,
so.
yeah, doesn't
It just
exactly
all it
work
does is
for you.
remove it as an option from Christian's list next year, which I'll take.
And it just makes things slightly less embarrassing for you.
Slightly less, exactly, and that's really all we can hope for at this point.
That's a good prediction, though. It's been a while since we've properly seen that game, so All right. You ready for this final prediction, Gage? You better fucking buckle up, Buttercup, because here we go. It's probably not going to happen, but I am going to just get myself in the fucking mindset that it is, because this is the year of fucking making things happen and imagining things, and they appear. So I will go ahead and say we get a Halo Combat Evolved remake trailer. I don't even care if it's not happening. I'm going to fucking manifest that shit right now, because this is the year of manifestation. Next year is whatever next year is going to be. This is the year of manifestation.
Wow. I thought we might have the same last one, but apparently not.
I think I know what your last one is, and I'm leaving it for you.
Okay, yeah, you know what my last one is. But I think there's a chance that you could be onto something here.
Really?
I think it's possible. I think it's possible.
Don't get me too excited. Don't get me too excited.
I think it's possible.
Wow.
Just a nice, quick little sizzle reel. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my
dun, dun, dun.
Marty O'Donnell stands up and says, "I wrote that. Why isn't my name there?"
And then security promptly comes and escorts him out of the building. I wrote that.
Yes. Give me praise. Why aren't you giving me praise all the time?
So stupid. Oh my god. Brilliant. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like where your head's at, Dan. That's the type of energy I want all of us to bring.
Yeah.
To this show. My number 5, obviously, is that Rockstar will make an appearance. Probably at the very end. Big ball move would be the very beginning, but probably the very end, and we will get that second GTA trailer. Which, if we're going off of Rockstar's usual cadence, should be happening anytime soon. I know I am well aware of the logic. Rockstar absolutely can do their own thing. They love doing their own thing. Yeah. I don't know. I think that there's also a chance for collaboration. Like Valve too. Valve could easily do their own thing. But then also these are companies that it's like, yeah, we can pay your fee, whatever. We'll just do it. So I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe Rockstar is like, we really want this to be even bigger than like just doing our own random announcement. So whatever. Let's just throw it in the Game Awards.
I think if this were any other year, I'd be telling you you're nuts. But like this year specifically feels different. Like the 10th anniversary, it feels more like the people are going to show up for this just to support Jeff's show.
Yes.
And the industry as a whole. So
yep.
Yeah, I feel like there's a chance that this happens. But what I will say is, if Rockstar doesn't show a second trailer here, they will never show a Grand Theft Auto trailer at any Game Awards, because like this is the moment that it would be, you know.
And I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. If they're not here, they're not doing third-party shows at all.
Yeah.
Right. Not even just the Game Awards. No Summer Games Fest. No PlayStation this. No Xbox that. I'm totally with you there. Yeah.
Indeed. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is our predictions for what's happening tomorrow. Do you have any other interesting ideas?
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
The obligatory Hollywood celebrity will show up there and will be totally phoning it in and being like, I'm just talking to a bunch of dorks. Like, I think, was it last year that we got Matthew McConaughey with his pew. Yeah. And fucking one of the geriatric actors they wheeled on stage and promptly wheeled off once he stopped talking. We'll get one of those moments, as we always do. Hideo Kojima will show up and he will overstay his welcome by about 15 minutes.
Although I think we may actually get, I didn't put this in my predictions, but I think we may actually get some gameplay out of him this year for Death Stranding 2, I would imagine.
Gameplay, okay, yeah. Sure.
Or whatever.
Which is just people talking to each other.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's fair.
Revolutionary.
Yeah.
It's quite spectacular, isn't it? Yeah. Now,
have you seen his name? He has an interesting
Hideo Kojima's latest work. His name is Bridges, Sam Bridges, because he's connecting the broken world together. It's truly Quite poetic.
Ro-
Um,
Rose saying they're gonna bring back Al Pacino.
he's got to be on a ventilator this time.
Yeah,
Oh my
that
god.
was rough.
He doesn't even know where he is when he does these things. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know. What else? Do you have anything that you think? Any fun little predictions?
Just Kojima. I think he's gonna show gameplay for Death Stranding 2, and then, of course, every fucking Game Awards that I can remember in the last 10 years has had something Warframe related. I can't even believe people still play that game, but every time the Game Awards happens, I'm reminded when Jeff's like, "Yeah, I got this Warframe drop for watching the Game Awards on Twitch."
Right.
Like, who the fuck's still playing that game? Not to shit on it, but shit.
Yeah, that is true. I feel like that's. Are they 10 for 10? They might be.
I think honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
What year did Warframe come out? Release date. Yeah. This is hilarious because the timing of Warframe coming out is almost exactly the same as the Game Awards. They came out in March of 2013.
Oh my god.
That's insane, dude. And in case you were wondering, yes, this show also has a Twitch drop for Warframe.
If I have one more prediction, it'll be that one of the heads of the big gaming companies, so either a Phil Spencer or somebody from EA, somebody from Sony, whatever, one of them will come out on stage at some point and will give us a speech about the importance of gaming and how gaming is just the greatest thing ever. And we promise we won't lay off any more employees, but gaming's also really important.
Is gaming
Some
back?
such nonsense. Is gaming back?
We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. That is our topic of the show. Let us move into the PXN news of the week. This one is going to be slightly difficult for me because I didn't have a chance to catch the Day of the Devs live stream yet, but there were a bunch of announcements from it. I have them all conglomerated here from their thread where they showed all the announcements. So bear with me because first time I'm seeing some of this. First, we got a look at a musical performance from C418, which is the producer and composer for the upcoming Cozy Tea Shop simulator, Wanderstop. Sounds like a row game. A cozy.
It does sound like a row game, but that also intrigues me. I'm vibing with cozy games recently.
Okay. Tea Shop simulator. The art in this looks really beautiful.
Bro, let's sell some tea together, please. Bro, please.
All right. First world premiere here. Weave through the stars, build constellations, and explore the cosmos with Far Away. It's like a interesting little I don't even know what you call this. Like you're attaching yourself to different points
Seems to be
in
like
space.
Yeah, a momentum physics-based space exploring game where you're
Yeah.
kind of grappling to solar systems and flinging yourself to other ones.
Yeah, this actually looks kind of cool. Like you have to like navigate it like properly to get, like you're saying, slingshot yourself around. That's kind of cool. Interesting. And then we got the big announcement, which is the sequel to everyone's favorite animal-themed party platformer, which is Ultimate Chicken Horse, of course. Build tracks, drop items, and race your adorable little critter hearts out in Ultimate Sheep Raccoon, the newest game. And essentially, it looks like the same type of idea as Ultimate Chicken Horse, except they are doing it with races. Essentially, you're on these bikes and you're racing against opponents, and you guys are building the level just like you do in Ultimate Chicken Horse and putting traps and all that and trying to get to the finish line. So imagine this will be a very fun party game.
This reminds me of like way back in the web game days This looks like Ultimate Chicken Horse meets like Line Rider type thing.
Oh,
If you remember
yeah.
that game, right, where you're drawing the tracks and it's physics based.
Yeah.
This is very exciting. This is very, very exciting. I can't wait to get my hands on this one.
Hell yeah. Very cool. Then we got to look at a stealth action, which meets card-based tactical strategy in sleight of hand. That's a cool name. Fits that very well. Play as a hard-boiled witch in a rain-slicked city and take down the powerful coven that you once called family. Aesthetic of the game is a little bit Bloodborne-esque, kind of like that gothic theme. I don't know. The rest of it looks a little generic, if I'm being honest.
Looks a little generic.
Yeah. Then we got rumblings online of a slick little game called Project Tides. It's got a new official title, which is called Demon Tides, a 3D platformer that's all about expression in its gameplay, characters, and style. I do really like the colors in this little snippet we have here, and it looks like a fun little platformer.
It looks like it could be fun, yeah.
Oh yeah. Then we got a look at something that Gage is gonna fucking eat the shit up because for some reason he loves this shit.
Oh my god, how did you know?
A massive medieval army meets modern arsenals in this epic action strategy sandbox. And yes, you can shoot a rocket at a castle, travel through time, and save the world in Kingmakers.
All right, I need to defend myself here a little bit. Does this look like absolute schlop? Yes. Does it look like it'll be fun regardless? Yes.
I'll be honest, yeah, this does look actually kind of fun.
This is one of those games that I am intrigued by, but I will wait for reviews because this does look very rough. It looks very thrown together. But I've played indie games like that on Steam before that I've gotten my money's worth. If this drops on Steam for like $19 and I play like even 3 or 4 hours out of it and never touch again, oh well, so be it.
I can't wait to mow down a whole bunch of medieval soldiers with a fucking LMG, you know?
There's no way you haven't thought about that once as a kid in grade school. What if I was in 1208 with an AK-47? I would be king of the world.
That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Yeah. Ro said this one looks great. Which one were you talking about, Ro? Which one looked great?
Ooh, I bet it's either Project Tides or it's the T1.
Ooh, yeah. I missed his comment, so I didn't see which one he was talking about. I'll get back to him once he spawns. The next one. The future is always in front of us. Or is it? Introducing Recur, a 3D platformer all about fixing the flow of time. Christian sent in our chat, he's like, Dan's gonna love this, and I fucking do. This looks sick. I think we were just talking about this the other day. I was like, I want to see more like time mechanics in games, and like this fucking has that. That's awesome. I'm very excited about that. That looks cool. And then we got a tile-based architectural adventure featuring a deep mystery in the heart of an ever-shifting manor. You control the rooms in the blueprint.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
This is the type of game that Christian's gonna play, and he's gonna be. It was really interesting. It has some really interesting mechanics, and he's gonna play it for about like 3 to 4 hours and never touch it again.
Yeah. Although I laugh, but there's too many games that I played 3 to 4 hours and never played again.
Right.
Ro was talking about Demon Tides. The developer made another game he liked called Demon Turf. Interesting. They make pretty good platformers. Okay.
Interesting.
Very cool. It does look cool. All right. Then we have another arena shooter, Gage. You never seen one like this before, though. Dash, fight, and bunny hop your way through the Y2K style of Enceladus Don't Stop Girly Pop.
Don't like that. Don't like that at all.
Just choose your character, girly pop. What's wrong?
Okay, girly pop, I'll do that.
This is kind of this is insane looking. I'm sure
It is
someone-
insane looking, but you know what? I mean, if the gameplay is there, if it feels,
sure.
it almost looks like very Quake-esque, extremely fast paced and floaty.
Yeah. It's
I
weird
mean, yeah,
to see. Yeah, you're right. It's weird to see it like in this like super vibrant, like lovable form.
right.
So weird. All right. The next one. You like a good brain teaser, Gage?
I love teasing my brain.
Lock Digital is a whimsical puzzler featuring a fictional language where each word brings new rules to discover, and it's available on PC today.
Wow, hell yeah, dude! I'm already frustrated. Let's go.
These aren't fucking words. What the hell? That's the point. You'll have to choose. Oh, sorry. Broke into the Joker for a second there. Moving into the next one, return to a colorful, chaotic run-and-gun roguelike world in Neon Abyss 2. You're the roguelike fan.
I am. I feel like this is one of those games that I've heard a lot about. I think this is like one of those cult hit games that got really good reviews. The first Neon Abyss. Yeah, this looks fun. This looks really cool. I might have to check this out. Although I might need to check out the first one, Neon Abyss, before I jump into this. But this looks good, man. I do like me a good roguelike.
Very cool. A little pixel arty art style. And then let's speed headfirst into a heartfelt sci-fi fantasy world where you can harness the power of witch tech to make race. Oh, why did my brain just switch those words? God damn it. Race, make deliveries, and upgrade your broom, and explore a magical open world. It's Crescent County.
This looks awesome. This looks cool. I'm normally not into, witches and flying brooms and stuff. That's normally not my speed. But like, this almost reminds me, excuse me, of the what are those games called? They're like sci-fi racing games,
Tron?
and they're no, not Tron. They almost seem like a game that you'd play at an arcade, where it's like you're just always going forward, but you have to like.
Oh, Endless Runner, like that? Or
no, not Endless Runner.
Specific game.
Whiplash, Hyper Frenzy, that kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know what the games are called, but those are the types of verbs they use. I don't know. This looks cool. This looks cool. I might have to check this one out.
Is Wipeout?
Wipeout. That's it.
Okay.
Wipeout 2099 or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. No, I've never played this. Shakespeare's Never Sounded So Delicious, Gage, presenting PBJ the musical, the world's first handmade papercraft tragicomedy about the star-crossed romance of peanut butter and jelly. What?
It sounds like a great game to just eat a gummy and play. This sounds awesome.
Oh my god. Sure. The next one, this cozy space sim tasks you with building your very own solar system, shape planets, guide evolution, and save the galaxy from a world-munching black hole in Curiosmos. Makes more sense. Curiosmos. Interesting.
That looks kind of neat.
A little interesting. A little semi.
There's only so much interest I can give to all these games, so I'm not gonna phone it in. This one's all right. It's all right.
Yeah,
it's all right.
But this next one, flip turn, teleport, and more as you explore an all-new frontier in this visually stunning 3D platformer. Welcome to Bionic Bay. Bionic Bay. I do like this. This is kind of cool how the environments turn on you and then like the objects react to the world turning. That's very cool.
Right. All the physics adjust properly, and
Yeah.
this looks like a game that you're gonna really enjoy for an hour and a half.
Fuck you.
Now the next game looks like a game I'm really gonna enjoy for 4.5 hours.
No. Yeah.
And drag you into as well if there's a co-op mode.
Yeah, the man who loves to make fucking pizza pies, the man who loves to make burgers, the man who loves to do all this bullshit in video games is excited about every customer who has their own story. Who knows? The perfect snack just might change their life. Stock shelves and meet a cast of colorful characters as you run a convenience store in Inconbini, I guess. I don't know. What the fuck are we doing here? We're working a job in a game.
Dan, if there's one thing I love more than going to work, it's doing work in my spare time as well. For no money and for no gain to my finances at all. This looks great. Look at this. Scanning products. Work the cash register. This looks great.
You know how I know we're in a simulation? When we have people who are wanting to simulate fucking doing a job.
It's like a Russian doll, isn't it? It just keeps going.
All right, you gotta see it to believe it. The next game is entirely handcrafted from felt. That's actually wild. It's the stop motion cute 'em up side scroller Feltopia. That's actually really neat that they're
this looks
building
bomb
from felt. That's pretty insane.
It looks very cool.
Very unique art style because of that. Interesting. All right. Defies explanation. I don't know what that one is supposed to be. Go ahead and flip the channel. There's always something new to watch in Blippo Plus. No idea what this is.
This is a Rogue game if I've ever seen one. Rogue, play this game and explain to us what it's about.
Yeah. It's like grainy footage of like real people, but I don't know. Interesting. And then a Day of the Dead alum returns with some big news. That's right. Hyper Light Breaker is entering early access on Steam in January 2025. Game looks very pretty.
It does look very pretty. I like the art style.
Our time's almost up, but we've got one more world premiere here. Vehicular Combat takes on a new life in Tankhead. Build the perfect combat machine in a lawless, irradiated wasteland and fight your way to the future. I know Christian was excited about this one. It does look very, very neat. I think it's a roguelike.
This looks
also,
awesome.
right?
This looks very, very cool. Yeah. Apparently in this game you have to sort of salvage parts from machines that you destroy, and you can constantly build and upgrade your own tank. This is very, very cool. This is the type of roguelike that I really like, that kind of takes a swing with the genre. Third-person vehicle combat roguelike, which is not something that I've seen before. This looks very, very cool. I'm definitely keeping this one on my radar. Only downside is that it seems to be an Epic Games exclusive. So, yeah, I might do some research and see if that's locked in stone, if that's just timed exclusivity, in which case I think I might have to wait. But either way, this game looks cool. If it's not a timed exclusive, I might be booting up the old Epic Games launcher to try this out, because it looks very fun.
Anyone that was watching while you were talking, I just spit out a bunch of my water because I read.
What are you doing over there?
I read Ro's comment. Ro typed in, What the actual hell is Blippo Plus? I just watched the trailer. Yeah, I don't know, Ro. That's a good question.
We were counting on you to know, and if you don't know, then
We're in trouble.
we're in trouble.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's the day of the devs. Exciting stuff there. More stuff than I expected. That looks very cool. All right, our second news of the week item, Gage. I threw this in here because I thought this was, I mean, it's not surprising, but it's like to see this written out, like just kind of like was like, oh, fuck. So publishers are reportedly refusing to commit to 2025 release dates for their games until Grand Theft Auto 6 gets a release date, which is kind of insane. Anonymous sources familiar with publisher deliberations have told Bloomberg that the anticipation for Rockstar Games' next big title is so high that it's causing ramifications for the rest of the video game industry. Publishers want to see if Rockstar will release GTA 6 in fall 2025 or postpone it to 2026, essentially so they can do the opposite. I mean, that's just, I don't think it's surprising to hear that, but it like just to hear that, you're just like, holy fuck, how big this game is that like big publishers like are like, fuck, we got to get out of this game's way.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you in that. I don't think this is all that surprising that it happens. I would assume that this has been happening for the last few Rockstar games. It's just different to see it said openly, right? Yeah, I if I were a betting man, I'd say they felt the same way probably when Rockstar was releasing Red Dead as well. But yep, I am waiting with bated breath, just the same as these publishers are, just for a different reason. I want to get my hands on it. And I bet you a lot of these publishers are waiting to get their hands on it too. They just don't want to say so.
That's true. Let me just give you and publishers an inside scoop here. Grand Theft Auto 6 is not coming in fall of 2025. Go ahead and lock in your release dates. Guaranteed right now.
Let me just, I've got a little tidbit for all the publishers as well. GTA 6 is absolutely coming in fall 2025 because if it doesn't, I'm going to hurt myself or someone else. So it is. Go ahead, don't lock those release dates in. Push all your games to 2026 because Take-Two wouldn't lie to me. It would never lie to me. Wow. It's coming out fall 2025.
Gonna be super disappointing when they announce in their trailer 2 tomorrow that it's coming 2026.
What a bittersweet moment that would be, is that I get the prediction right and the end of that trailer says fall 2026. Oh, that would be just my luck, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It would.
Wow. Incredible.
I'm thinking if they show that trailer tomorrow, you think they even show a date, or they just, I don't know.
Did they show a date at the end of the first trailer, or was that just a press release afterwards?
Oh, that's a good point. I don't know.
If they did not show the release date in the first trailer, I think you're right. I think maybe they just don't show a date and they don't have an updated press release if they are delaying it, and they just save that news for later next year.
I can confirm they put coming 2025 at the end of the trailer.
Then we are getting a date, I think, in the second trailer.
Interesting. And wow, it's going to be interesting to see if, oh man.
Oh, if it says 2025, it's going to feel so good. Oh my goodness.
I mean, will it though? Because they still have a whole year to get through.
Yeah.
I mean, they could get to June and be like, yeah, just kidding. It's coming 2026 and a press release or some bullshit.
Which means you're not going to give up this fight until the game launches.
That's true, yeah. 100%.
It could be September of 2025 with them still sticking to a fall 2025 release date, and you'll still say, well, just wait, you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds like very smart future, Dan.
Yeah.
All right. I had one more thing in here, PlayStation wrap up, but their website has been down all day. So similar to the Xbox thing where it shows all your stats and everything. PlayStation has a wrap up as well, but the website is broke, so maybe we'll do it next week. So that's it for news of the week. Let's go ahead and run over some street meat, Gage. The first street meat. Apple and Sony are reportedly working on Vision Pro support for PSVR 2 controllers. So I guess Apple can't figure out how to make controllers because they're just trying to steal the PSVR 2 controllers to work with their $2,500 headset that no one wants to buy.
That is the doomer way to look at it. And you know what? There's probably a hint of that. That's right.
Yeah.
What I take from all this is that Apple is too stubborn to stop their VR pursuits. And Sony has already started them anyways, even though it's not going the way they want. So they're both looking at each other going, you know what? This relationship's been growing anyways. Whenever the iPad is shown with video game playing advertisements, they use PlayStation products. Whenever PlayStation is talking about how you can play PlayStation on other platforms, they always highlight the iPad. They've had a growing relationship. I think this is just them kind of being like, hey, you already have a lot of R&D for this. We've got a lot of R&D for this. Let's, join our eggs in the basket.
Crazy idea here. What are the chances that Apple buys Sony? What is that?
And then Apple becomes the future of gaming. That would be a crazy turnaround for Guy. What a crazy turnaround if Guillermo came up to us and just started smiling and be like, "Look, I told you so." I mean, where did it lead you? Back to me.
It would make a lot of sense because it fills a lot of Apple's gaps that they have, and like a lot of people specifically point to like Sony's like image processing lenses as being like the best out there, and like integrating those into Apple's devices. It makes a lot of sense, and Sony is the right size company for Apple to be able to acquire, and it would put them on more of a level playing field with Microsoft. I feel like
it would. Does it make a lot of sense? Yes. Am I worried you might be onto something? Yes. But here's the problem. It's not okay. None of this is a problem for Apple, which makes me concerned with your idea that you just thrown out there.
Right.
What it is a problem for consumers because PlayStation is already pretty comfortable doing some anti-consumer practices.
Right.
And if they were bought by the king of anti-consumer practices, this would be a little bit troubling. But I'm worried the more I'm thinking about it that you might be onto something. This could be something that happens within the next 5 years easily, I think.
Right.
That's a bit worrying. If this relationship gets even closer and closer, the only saving grace maybe is that because again, Sony is a Japanese company. They play by a different set of rules. They don't fucking worship the almighty dollar like the Americans do. They have a bit more class and a bit more honor when it comes to these kind of things. So maybe they don't want to sell out to Apple. Maybe that's the saving grace. Yep. But for acquisitions, I never thought of that. But you're onto something there. You're onto something. Man, what a crazy world we'd be living in if Guy was right.
I told you the Apple is the future.
And he would say that to me, like, I knew it from the start. Yeah. Even though he never suggested Apple buying Sony, even though he never talked about it, I knew it. I had a feeling.
Eric says Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding 2 is exclusive to Apple computers.
Oh my god.
Incredible. All right. Our other street meat item here, Gage. Steam machines are expected to make a comeback? Question mark. What if the Steam Deck was just the start, Gage? Why is it wanting me to? It wants me to subscribe to The Verge to read this article. Apparently, that's amazing.
I can read it.
You can.
I've got it open. For some reason, it didn't give me any prompt. I'm just reading it.
Yes, go for it.
Okay. If there's fire where we currently see smoke, Valve is currently preparing a wireless VR headset, codenamed Deckard. A pair of trackable wands, codenamed Roy. A Steam Controller 2 gamepad, codename Ibex. And a codename Fremont living room console 2. That last one looks likelier than it did yesterday. And Valve has also now seemingly revealed plans for partners to create third-party SteamOS hardware too. There's a couple of pictures of some of these. I don't know if you're able to see. The Ibex, which is the Steam Controller 2 gamepad, looks very, very similar to the Steam Deck, just without the screen in the middle, which I know sounds silly, but that's the best way I can explain it. You've got two trackpads, kind of where the analog sticks would be on a PlayStation controller. Then you've got two analog sticks above those, and then you've got your D-pad and your buttons, obviously. Really interesting that if they're giving the home console market another shot with a decently powerful, Linux-based machine, presumably. That could be really interesting for somebody like, say, Sheldon, friend of the show.
That's true.
Where you try and get somebody in on that, where it's a bit simpler. You don't have to worry about all the, driver updates and XYZ whatnot. It's just a Steam big picture, console. That could be really cool.
Yes. Fun fact, actually. When Steam originally tried the idea of Steam machines way back in the day, one of the quote unquote Steam machines was supposed to be I forget the name of it. It was the Alienware Alpha, maybe. I want to say that's the right name. And essentially it was an Alienware machine that was like in the form factor of a console. And that was actually my first desktop computer that I owned, just because I really liked the idea of like a console form factor for a PC. And it actually was super fucking slick. Like the amount of technology they packed in that thing, and it was pretty small, especially compared to my fucking massive beast that I have sitting next to me here. And I would be very interested in that idea, especially if it. And I think more importantly, I think that it also encourages other companies to miniaturize more of their things, because
Right.
so many companies just don't care about making things small enough to fit in smaller form factor, that you just end up with massive fucking cases, because you have the RTX 4090, which is absolutely insane how big it is.
Yeah, I mean, to call back to our previous conversation and to give credit where credit's due, one of the few things Apple does very well is hardware engineering. They are one of the best companies when it comes to doing exactly that. Like the Mac Mini is insane. Absolutely an insane device for how much power is in that. So, I mean, I definitely would not mind Steam taking a page out of their book, and trying to do something like that, where this little Steam machine console to whatever it ends up being is a very high efficiency, high power in a low package that could work for a lot of people, I think.
For sure.
There's something in here in the article about them looking at the AMD x86 chip architecture that's been used in a lot of the handhelds that we're seeing. So if they get a beefed up version of that and they maybe utilize some cloud computing, I could see how they could maybe get something that's really, really compelling in a small package.
Or even the AI stuff with DLSS and that kind of stuff.
Yes, unfortunately, it seems like we're not going to be able to get away from that. That stuff still makes me nervous. I still don't think that counts as raw horsepower, but that does seem like the direction that we're going. So,
yeah.
Yes, you're right. They'll probably utilize some of that stuff as well.
For sure. All right. Into the Quick Bites gauge. The first Quick Bites item. The next season of Foam Stars will officially be its last. Square Enix announced in a blog post that the season is called Party Goes On, which begins December 13th and runs until January 17th. And it will be the final season of Foam Stars, but Square Enix will continue to support the game in a handful of other ways, including expansions that they will introduce that will enhance gameplay, such as the ability to customize shots of each character, and new enhancement elements such as Prism Gems, all aimed at ensuring players can continue to enjoy the game for the foreseeable future. So
Did not know this was a game.
yeah, I think
Have
that's
not
the
heard
one,
of this game.
I think that's the one that's like similar to
Platoon.
Splatoon. Yeah.
Right. Pour one out for Foam Stars and the next quick bite.
Yes, the next quick bite as well. Rose says "Party Goes On" is a hilarious name for the last season. Yeah, it goes on though. Keep going. You know.
The party never stops
Yeah.
in your heart.
You know what party also is stopping? Season 4 is the final season for Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, with the developer, of course, announcing its plans to end support for the online game in January 2025. Of course, Rocksteady being the developer. Nobody's surprised by this. I think that we have had long conversations about Suicide Squad, and I'm hopeful that Rocksteady's next game goes back to what made those Batman games so good. Single player, focus on narrative. Because I still think, from what we played in the beta, I very much enjoyed the cutscenes and that part of it. So yeah, I hope they go back to their roots a bit. Our next quick bite gauge, Project Mugen or Mugen, I don't know, Mugen or Mugen, is now called Ananta. They went from one name to another that I can't fucking say. Ananta. And it has a new trailer that we got as well. It's Ananta is an upcoming urban RPG, which is described as being a mix of GTA plus anime plus Spider-Man, that sounds really cool, just like hearing that description. I don't know.
Does it sound cool or does it sound like I don't know. I'm watching this trailer.
We're supposed to be simping for anime for
We're supposed to be simping for anime for Ro. Okay, this game looks very, very cool. And definitely not like it's copyright infringement on some of these gameplay mechanics. Definitely looks wholly original. Very good. Very good.
The shot where the girl's holding an ice cream cone like this, and then like it appears like going up like super tall, and she's like holding it right here. I'm like,
they know their demographic, Dan.
Yep.
They know who they're making these games for.
Yeah, Roshan Warner
and Christian Macias.
That's
absolute fucking scoundrels.
Yeah, that's funny. Moi. Rose says moi. All right. The next quick bite. Ubisoft's share price skyrocketed after rumors of a Tencent buyout last week. So it skyrocketed last week. According to Reuters, Ubisoft shareholders are considering how to structure a possible buyout of the French company without reducing the founding Guillemot family's control. The Guillemot family is the largest shareholder in Ubisoft and is reportedly in talks with Tencent and other investors as it seeks funding a management buyout. Tencent is the second largest shareholder in Ubisoft with 10%, and according to Reuters, has yet to decide whether to fund the buyout. I think this would be extremely bad for Ubisoft and the industry as a whole if this happens. But
yeah, if you think that Ubisoft has lost its soul now, I don't know that a major buyout from Tencent is going to do anything but exacerbate that issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talk about this in the show all the time. I keep praying for some sort of Capcom like comeback, but it seems like Yves Guillemot he is incapable of either looking the problem dead in the face and really doing some serious. I don't know. I don't know what the mentality is over there among senior leadership, but they really got to get their act together. They got to realize they got to look backwards at their old portfolio, look at the genres they used to make and the spaces they used to occupy, and bring back their IPs to what they used to do so well, which is these niche genres, and they would just sort of create these big blockbuster versions of all these little niche genres like stealth or tactical shooters or whatever,
Yeah.
instead of just making every game a big Far Cry, a GTA clone, open world nonsense. So yeah, this looks like the type of solution that you'd explore if you're not planning on changing anything about how you're making games. You just want more cash flow. And that's exactly what worries me about this.
And it seems like I know they've like obviously they've released more than this, but like it seems like Ubisoft has just been Far Cry and Assassin's Creed, and that's it. Like
Yep.
that's literally the only games that I feel like have been successful the last 10 years for them. Like
And then unfortunately you get a game like Avatar or Star Wars Outlaws, which just
Right.
feels like those two franchises again. Star Wars Outlaws, lots of heavy things lifted from Assassin's Creed. Avatar looks like it almost could be a Far Cry expansion. Not to say that there wasn't time and effort and love put into that game. Like, it does look gorgeous and all that stuff, but in terms of like what the core bones are, the foundations, right? Like, they
Yeah.
cannot seem to stray away from this open world format. It's almost like they've put in their minds they put so much R&D into getting that type of gameplay down that they're too scared to try anything else, which is why I'm worried for things like the Splinter Cell remake coming out, or this next Ghost Recon game that we haven't even heard about that may or may not be canceled. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Not looking good for Ubisoft though, unfortunately, which again is tragic because I love their IP. They have such a treasure trove of IP, and if they were utilizing them properly, that would be a totally different situation.
I hope the Splinter Cell devs are heads down, just working on that game, and just it turns out to be incredible. I hope.
I hope every time they get a call from head office, they lift up that phone and hang it right back down, and they're just don't fucking listen to anything these French fucks have to say. Just do your job.
Hello, this is Yves Gameau. I would like to see some microtransactions in the next Splinter Cell.
I was just looking over the footage. Where are the towers? Where are the towers that you There's no fucking towers. There's no towers. Stop. Goodbye. Hang up.
Oh shit. That's awesome. All right. Next quick bite. Fortnite has revealed a new Ballistic game mode, which is a round-by-round tactical first-person shooter, which is 5v5, essentially a search and destroy-esque mode. It looks interesting, but it's just like, do I really care about this in Fortnite sandbox? It's literally another thing in Fortnite. No, I don't know. And we also got a news story that the FTC has ruled for Epic Games to pay out its $245 million to Fortnite players affected by what the organization determined to be unfair microtransaction practices. And guess who got $50 out of that? I did, because I signed on.
I'm so happy for you. You know what? One of the things I would really appreciate about becoming the 51st state of United States is that I would finally get to be a part of all these lawsuits that we just don't have up here, and that we don't get anything. And it's crazy. It's crazy that like just like 7 hours south of me, there's people that are like, yeah, no, this company did do a bad thing, and here's all the repercussions that the customers get. And just because we don't pursue that in Canada, it's just like, yeah, we don't get anything. So,
yeah,
very cool. Happy to see all you guys getting your money.
Yeah.
That sounds like that would be really fun. But yeah, no luck up here.
The funny thing is, I don't even think that I spent $50 in Fortnite when I play. I used to play it a shitload, but I would buy the season pass, and then there was enough coins in there to buy the next season pass, and like very rarely I bought a skin. I don't even remember buying. I actually don't even remember buying any skins until the Master Chief skin came out. Actually, I bought the battle pass every time when I was like really in the thick of it, but I don't remember ever buying a store item. So, it's just kind of funny.
No, this is Podcast PXN.
Yeah. Oh, God damn it. Yes, Greg Miller, we're not taking over your show. This isn't kind of funny.
Not yet.
Yeah. We're gonna look to acquire a majority stake in Kind of Funny.
Yes.
Kidding. All right. Glenn says I've spent more than $50 for sure. Glenn, I'm pretty sure you've spent close to fucking $5,000 in Fortnite with all the skins you have.
Glenn, you've spent more money in Call of Duty than I've spent in any video game combined. Sit down. Sit down.
In Call of Duty?
Glenn has spent more money in Call of Duty than I've spent in any video game. I would take that bet seriously.
Holy shit. From Gobblegums?
From the last 3 games.
Oh,
which
okay.
one was the worst at? I think Modern Warfare 2 was his biggest offender.
I got
He bought every other bundle that was released in that game. Every time I played with him, he had a new character that was a premium purchase.
Glenn,
It's crazy.
We need to have an intervention.
We do.
All right. Next quick bite. Faith, the Unholy Trinity, is getting a horror movie adaptation. And Christian Macias says this thing better be animated. Straight from his mouth.
Best I can do is live action adaptation from Blumhouse.
Oh, that could be good, right?
Christian would like that a lot, I think.
Yeah, that might be good. I mean, it could also be bad. There's some Blumhouse stuff that's bad, but I don't know. Interesting. Next we got a surprise update for Cyberpunk 2077. After they said they were done, we got one more surprise apparently. Developed in partnership with support developer Virtuous, 2.2 is called Express Yourself, with the idea that players can express themselves more in game. Let's see. 2.2 does let player change colors of more cars in a more detailed way with an upgraded vehicle customization user interface. The new twin tone feature lets you scan any car in Night City and add its paint job to your car. The idea is if you're driving around and see a cool car, you'll be able to save its paint job in a database and from there apply it to your own cars. This adds a paint job collecting and exploration aspect to Cyberpunk 2077, and there are also gameplay implications too. If you change your color of your car while being chased by police, you'll fade out your heat level, so you can escape into an alley, change your car color, and then drive away scot-free. Pretty cool. More customization options on the way in this update. A bunch of stuff that they've added. I will not read all this because there is a lot, but a lot of customization stuff, so that's cool.
Is it time for me to check out Cyberpunk 2077?
I think so, and I need to beat it.
Of course.
Glenn says that was Cold War. Thank you very much, Gage.
You were pretty bad in World War II as well. Or Modern Warfare 2, because that had all those stupid bundles with the cat heads and the dog heads and the...
Oh my god.
Glenn, I know what you're about. You can try and backpedal now, but I know what you're about.
Jesus.
If I had less respect for you, I'd try and put a dollar value to it, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that on the podcast to you.
All right, we're still in 2024, which means more layoffs on the way. People Can Fly posted on Twitter an important update from Sebastian Wojciechowski, the CEO of People Can Fly. Today, we made a very difficult decision to reduce our self-publishing strategy by suspending Project Victoria, scaling down our team on Project Bifrost, and restructuring some of our supporting teams at People Can Fly. We are deeply saddened by the fact that this situation means suspending or parting ways with more than 120 talented aviators, colleagues who we enjoyed having as part of our team. This action became necessary as external market pressures persisted beyond our forecast. That's the same thing we've been hearing from a bunch of people. So yes, another terrible day for the industry. More people losing their jobs.
Yeah, this one kind of stings a little bit because I'm just looking right now. I'm trying to keep up with what their project names allude to. I can't find anything concretely.
Yeah.
This one this one sucks because like we talk about this on the podcast a lot, a need for the middle ground games, like the sort of, double A or B tier or whatever kind of name you want to give them. Looking at something like Concord, which was this big, massive budget, even though it was a smaller studio, it had a lot of funding behind it, had PlayStation behind it. Like rumors of up to 400 million, 200 million, whatever, put into it to try and break into the space of the hero shooter genre, and it failing miserably. On the other end of the spectrum, you have a studio like People Can Fly, which Outriders didn't have the super long legs or anything. But if you remember when that game launched, it had quite a bit of people playing it. And I played that game all the way through its campaign, and I really enjoyed myself. For a game that, seemed like it played like it had like an 80, a 50 to 80 million dollar budget, like it was that kind of game. It played really well for the Destiny type genre thing that it was going for. So it goes to show that, like, CEOs can try and will these things into existence, but it's not exactly how it works. But there can be games that come out with a very modest budget that do effectively challenge the status quo of certain genres. And I hope what I was trying to look for with this Project Victoria and Project Bifrost that are being suspended and scaled down respectively, I was just double checking to make sure that one of those wasn't the Outriders sequel, because People Can Fly definitely has some talent behind it. This one sucks. I mean, all of them suck, right? Like the game industry is flourishing, and the only reason that these companies aren't performing well is because of mismanagement and misallocation of resources. It has nothing to do with the talent at any of these studios. So yeah, this one stings. This one sucks. I'm hoping that the people that are let go land on their feet, and I'm hoping that the people that are still there have enough morale in them to keep fighting the good fight and making something that hopefully stands out, because I really did like Outriders, and I'm looking forward to not only what the studio does in general, but the sequel specifically.
You know what's insane? I had no
What's
idea. I had no idea how many games they're working on right now.
And that's what I'm talking about with the misallocation of resources. It's they're working on like what, 6 games?
Yeah, this is crazy. Project Gemini, collaboration with Square Enix, expected to release in 2026. Project Maverick, a Microsoft-funded game based on one of Microsoft's IPs.
Interesting.
Then Bifrost, which had a launch window of 2025, 2026. Victoria, which had a tentative launch window of 2025, 26. Like, they're all fucking in the same time span too, which is crazy. Project Red, that is in conceptual stage. Bulletstorm VR, which is a updated version for MetaQuest and PSVR 2, which, holy fuck, if swinging around, that might be vomit inducing in Bulletstorm.
Although that does seem like a game that is ripe for a VR
Yeah.
adaptation with that little whip thing.
whip,
You're
yes.
right.
Yeah, I love Bulletstorm too. I think it was a great game. And then Green Hell VR, a game developed by Incuvo, who's a subsidiary of People Can Fly.
Interesting. None of those projects alluded to which one is the Outriders sequel, huh?
Right. I'm wondering if they're even having one. Are they gonna have?
Maybe that was Project Victoria, which is now
Well,
suspended.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Project Maverick is interesting. I don't know that I've heard that or that we've talked about on the podcast, that it's a Microsoft IP they're working on.
I want to say we talked like very, very vague, like short about it, like a long time ago. But yeah, I don't think we really know anything about it.
Interesting.
Because there's also
maybe we'll learn more tomorrow.
Maybe. There's also an IO game from Microsoft that we don't know anything about. We've been hearing about for years.
That's the one that's rumored to be a sci-fi fantasy one, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay, medieval fantasy. Yeah, interesting. Interesting.
All right, our last quick bite, Gage. A number of games are appearing in the Microsoft Store on PC, including Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, Call of Duty United Offensive, which is the first game, and they have all appeared on the Microsoft Store on PC, as well as hundreds more games have now been added. Earlier this summer, we began working with partners to bring all PC games with Xbox features into the Xbox app, explains Chris Sharla, the general manager of content curation and programs at Xbox. We're super excited to see what Xbox games come to Windows PC from game creators in the future and welcome nearly 400 titles that previously weren't discoverable or purchasable in the Xbox app. That's actually kind of crazy. More than 100 of these new titles are Xbox Play Anywhere. So if you buy the Xbox console version, you can also play the PC version as well. This is actually kind of big. Like, I hope they still have a lot of problems with the Xbox app on Windows and, refining that experience. But if they keep investing in that and making it better, that can only be good for the industry. Like Steam is obviously well and far and away the top source right now, but it's never a bad thing to have better competition.
Right. Yeah, I would love for them to put more money into their PC launcher, because you're right, it needs a lot of TLC. What's interesting with some of these games, though, hundreds of new games, I'm noticing that they're highlighting that a lot of them come from Japanese studios like Kemco or Kairosoft. Kairosoft, I know specifically, is a big mobile game maker / publisher / developer, whatever you want to say. There's a couple of games from them that I really like. One of them is Game Dev Story. I'm wondering does this have anything to do with preparations for the phone app thing that they're trying to do? What do you want to call it? Game marketplace?
Could be.
Right? If on the back end, if they're trying to have a cohesive functionality between an Xbox, a PC, and a mobile app thing, it would make sense that maybe we see these pop up on the other two before the mobile app is completely ready. So seeing Kairosoft there, really, that's the alarm bells that goes off in my head, is that maybe this has something to do with getting a big catalog ready for when they have their mobile store. But yeah, like you said, competition on the PC thing, on the PC platform, is definitely not a bad thing. I feel like it's not as necessary, because as of right now, Steam is not only the best, but they also seem to be really pro-consumer. So I feel like I find myself wanting for PC competition less, but as you said, it's never a bad thing to have it. So I'm definitely never gonna go up against somebody suggesting that Xbox should work on their PC launcher, because they absolutely should.
Yeah. Especially for someone like me that plays primarily on console. I buy my games on console, and it would be nice to have more experiences where I buy on console and I can also play on my PC for no additional charge. Okay. That is our main show. So let's jump into Fantasy Draft Check-in real quick here. We have one update, the final update of the year in terms of game pickups, because this is the last game pickup possible. Roe has acquired On Your Tail with a bid of $10. This man fucking just throws his money away. You could have bid 5 on this, Roe. Nobody's competing with you on your bid.
Welcome to the club, bro.
Yeah.
Throwing your money away for no reason. It feels good, doesn't it, in the moment? It feels good. When you were betting that $10, it felt really good, didn't it? And then now you're here to listen to Dan's ridicule. And then it sinks in.
I am, yes. Although I'm looking at our upcoming releases, and I see a lot of maidenless gaming for 2025 on here. You know, we were playing in 2024, right, Gage? Just kidding. Sorry. All right, we have one update as well this week, and of course, it is my game, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. which is sitting at an 86 right now on OpenCritic, which gives me 16 points. And you know what that means, Gage? It means I pass Roe in Fantasy Critic to take second place. Let's fucking go. I don't come in third, hopefully, unless I guess he could still pass me if On Your Tail that he just picked up gets a bunch of points, I guess.
Well, don't forget, when Hollow Knight and Hades 2 and all these games shadow drop tomorrow, I might be taking second place.
No, that ain't happening. Rose says he regrets not picking up Marvel Rivals. He just Hail Married on this one. I don't know anything about it. Yeah, Ro, we'll talk about that in here in a second, probably. Marvel Rivals. In fact, let's just do it right now in our What You Got For Me segment. What you got for me, Daniel? First, I want to say there was an article real quick here. The game director of Marvel Rivals was commenting on Concord and how it failed to gain traction. And essentially, the game director, Thaddeus Sasser, said he thinks that it's because of the unique appeal of playing as familiar superheroes is the reason why Marvel Rivals was successful and not Concord. I don't know about that, but what I will say is, in my brief time with Marvel Rivals, I personally, I feel like the game is not very inspired. I think it's fine. I think the game's fine. I think the gameplay is fine. But like, when I'm playing that game, it doesn't feel unique. Like, he says that it feels unique to play as a superhero. Like, no, that's not. You can't just say, like, oh, it's unique to play as a superhero. You play as a superhero in a bunch of games nowadays. Like, that's not a unique.
You're playing as, I mean, if we're being honest, the core, the fact of video games that require almost every character that you, like, Joel Miller is a superhero, Nathan Drake is a superhero. Every video game you play as, you can make an argument that you literally have to play as a superhero in every video game in order to, like, for the game to even happen.
Right.
Right? If Nathan Drake could twist his ankle at any moment when he's climbing a fucking rock, you know what I mean? Like, he's a 45-year-old man?
Yeah.
Come on.
Uncharted 4, he's peak performance Gage, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that just seems kind of silly. I mean, to be honest, I enjoyed the game a bit more than I thought I would, but I still don't think it was, you know, it wasn't anything that I'd be like, man, I have to go back and play Marvel Rivals. I don't know. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, I've played a couple of hours of, and so far, I very much enjoy it. What's interesting to me is I'm a very casual Indiana Jones fan. Like, I've seen a couple of the movies, and then the other ones I've seen like bits and pieces. I've never seen like all of them like all together or anything like that.
Right.
And I think what this game does a really good job of, at least thus far, is respecting the source material. Like, if you love Indiana Jones, you will absolutely love this game, I think.
Yes.
And everything I've played thus far, I very much enjoy it. I think it's hard also to like position your mind around what the game is, especially when you compare it to Machine Games' previous games with Wolfenstein, because they're very different games. Like, Wolfenstein is very much an action shooter, whereas Indiana Jones feels like very much a adventure game that you just happen to be, you know, shooting a couple of times, and it's not a primary function. But what I do actually really enjoy personally, and I thought after watching the trailers and stuff, I would hate it, but like, I actually very much enjoy the melee combat in that game. Like, it feels to me very weighty, and like all of your decisions you're making with how you're attacking the enemy, I very much like all of that. So So yeah. I so far very much like Indiana Jones. And that's all I got. Actually, we do have one more, but you can go ahead. I can just jump in when you say yours, because
is it the thing that's not a game?
It's the thing that's last on your.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, Indiana Jones. I did jump into Indiana Jones, and as people of the podcast know, I was kind of hating on this game before it came out because Indiana Jones is for boomers, and the 1930s are one of the least interesting time periods, in my opinion. I do not care for the 1930s, but I downloaded the game when I started hearing comparisons to Dishonored, and while I think as of right now those comparisons are maybe being stretched a little bit, I am quite pleased with the game. I'm having a lot more fun than I thought I would. I'm maybe about, I want to say 2.5 hours in. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. I am. I agree with you. The melee combat was what I was most worried about because Machine Games is historically a shooter company. And when the trailer showed a lot of melee combat, I was really worried. Are they going to be able to get that right? Is it going to feel like you're just holding the fucking click button and that's it, and you're just kind of waiting for things to finish? But you're right. There's a lot of weight to the animations, to the physics, picking up weapons in the middle of a fight to use, and then they break in your hand, and you grab the next thing. It's great. It feels really, really good. The one thing I am not a fan of, which I would love to see an update, this would be very time consuming, so I'm not going to assume that it's coming, is the switching from first person to third person is super jarring and does not feel good. I was worried about that before the game came out, and now after playing it, it does not work for me. I would much rather have an option to just stay in first person. It breaks up the flow of the game for me. I just don't like it. It does not work for me at all. But the music, the voice acting, the graphics, and the gameplay, and the level design, all really, really good stuff. So pleasantly surprised with Indiana Jones. We'll keep playing and see how I feel. Next thing to jump into, Marvel Rivals. I played it with you and a group of friends, and I pretty much agree with most of what you said. It feels like a competent shooter, but it's not very inspired. I feel like that's the perfect way that you described it. It does not feel bad to play at all, but also not really anything keeping me there. I don't care for any of these characters. They're not like renditions of the characters that like you're used to. They're their own little fun thing. But like I don't have any, like, I feel more connection to the characters in Overwatch, which is a game I don't even care about anymore, than I do about these versions of these characters. Like, I just don't really. The only thing that is a hint of something is that Yuri Lowenthal is reprising his role as Spider-Man. But it's not even the same Spider-Man. It's just like, I recognize that voice. Yeah. So Marvel's Rivals is totally fine if you're really itching for a MOBA or a hero shooter to jump into, and you're absolutely fed up with Overwatch. Then maybe give this a try, I guess. I also feel like, as much as I love third-person shooters, I don't know that third-person lends itself well to hero shooter, because I noticed a lot when I was playing, depending on the character that I was using, watching your character's animations happening in the heat of battle, it got a little messy for me. I was trying to keep track of everything that was happening, and like, I don't know, maybe punching in the FOV would help, but surprisingly, the third-person Sigma was, it doesn't really work that well for this type of hero shooter, I don't think, with how fast-paced it is. I'll quickly touch on Liar's Bar, because I think we did talk about it last week, and there's not a whole lot for me to add. Other than that, I absolutely adore this game. I adore the game that it's based on, Liar's Dice. It's just one of my favorite poker games of all time. The game is very fun. You and I and Christian have been playing it still. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. I'm guessing that's what you wanted to add as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Just like calling people out and like not knowing what you expect. Like, you think you know something and then you call it out and you're like, fuck. Like, it is very fun.
Christian loves doing those spot-ons too, against his better judgment. He loves doing those spot-ons.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to talk about, which has thoroughly impressed me, is Tim Miller's new show, Secret Level. So from the same people that made Love, Death, and Robots, which is a anthology animated series that you can watch on Netflix. They now have Secret Level, which is pretty much the exact same thing, except it's all based around video game IP. They have the first 8, I want to say 8-ish episodes up, ranging from anywhere from a short, 8 minutes to some of them that are like over 20 minutes long. Really, really great stuff so far. Really surprised. They have the standouts, in my opinion, have been they have a Warhammer one, which Warhammer is an IP that seems to be making a huge comeback or emerging for the first time. I don't know. I've only vaguely known of Warhammer for all of my life, but now it seems like it's everywhere and it's really having a big comeuppance. So that's kind of cool. Sifu had a pretty one, and then interesting enough, there's one about Pac-Man that is completely fucking balls to the walls crazy, which might be my favorite. And I'm really curious to see what Christian thinks about the Pac-Man episode if he gets around to watching it, because I'm gonna have to look into this. This seems like one of those things where it's like, is this the story they actually meant to have for Pac-Man, but it was just such a simple game that they couldn't really translate it? Because all of the other episodes seem to be very faithful tellings of the source material. So when you get to the Pac-Man episode and it's fucking crazy and wild, it makes me think, okay, did they talk to the people that made Pac-Man and like this is the lore they had? If so, Pac-Man is a fucking crazy ass game. Have you checked out any of these episodes yet, Dan?
I have not, no. Oh, have you seen the Outer Worlds episode?
I don't think they have all of them up there yet because the Spelunky one was not on there and the Outer Worlds does not sound familiar. Okay. I don't think so. There's a New World one, the Amazon MMO game.
No. Yeah, no.
Okay. So yeah, that one's not up there. Spelunky's not up there. The PlayStation 1 is not up there. So I still think, I can't remember what the original episode number was, but I think there's still at least as many as are out that there are to release. I think there's another 8 on the way or so.
Oh yeah.
But highly recommend.
It's on Netflix.
It is on Prime, actually.
Prime. Okay.
Highly recommend. These people, the Dungeons and Dragons one, I don't have any connection to Dungeons and Dragons at all, but that I was watching it and I was like, man, I feel like if I was a big D&D person, this perfectly encapsulates what it's like to get into like a D&D sort of situation, a little romp. So, yeah, I mean, coming off of Arcane, we love when adaptations respect the source material and give, a serious attempt to try and translate that to a different medium. So I wholeheartedly recommend Secret Level for anyone looking for some fun animation to watch.
Oh yeah, I'll have to start that. I'm trying to binge through some Netflix stuff because I have my Netflix subscription and I only subscribe when I have a bunch of stuff to watch.
Right.
And Prime I have all the time because I do the Prime free shipping because literally I buy everything from Prime. So
right.
I'm trying to get my Netflix stuff done, but yeah, maybe once I cancel my Netflix, jump on that. All right, that was a tight 1 hour, Gage.
Tight 1 hour.
Tight 1 hour and 40 minutes. Kierik says, hey, I'm older and can climb just fine. Just let me sit for a minute and catch my breath, Sonny. We were talking about Uncharted and Nathan Drake.
Right.
Funny. All right. Thank you again to everyone who is joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Gage, Christian, and Ro shall return. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love. Keep on gaming. Happy birthday, Gage.
Thank you very much.